All right, we're back for video number 2 in our series, talking about training options for DJs for 2019 with Mitch Taylor. Mitch, this one's our workshop one. Let's talk about some of the different workshops out there. Now, we've got a list of a few here. The first one we're going to talk about is a workshop that's put on by a guy by the name of Mitch Taylor. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
I have no idea who that is. Next.
But if you did, go ahead. You've got a workshop. Tell us a little bit about it. These are, for those who are wondering, these are workshops that happen around the country at different locations, what have you. So in this video, we're talking about more hands-on workshops that are face-to-face workshops. And in the next one, we're talking about online training. So go ahead, Mitch. Give us a little information about what you're doing.
So a little sneak peek behind the curtain, if you will, of workshops is that you are getting one-on-one attention, if you will, in workshop instruction on different parameters of your business, different parts of your business. And mine is called Sales for Event Pros Workshop. It's based upon the book I wrote, Sales for Event Pros.
Ta-da-da!
Actually, I had a copy right here. So it's based upon the book I wrote, Sales for Event Pros, which is an acronym for Search, Approach, Learn, Explain, Solve. The sales acronym that I put in the book. And so we basically workshop through each of these steps as laid out in the book, but how they specifically apply to your business. And then you'll get one-on-one coaching inside of the workshop. It's typically a full day workshop with a working lunch. So plan on a solid, 8 to 9 hours sometimes that we work through and get down into the nitty-gritty on everything in regards to the sales process. From the initial phone call until all the way through to the end, as you wrap up the sales meeting and close the deal, it's covered in that Sales for Event Pros workshop.
So who is the person who should take this? And we're going to do that with each one of these and kind of give you guys an idea of what type what type of DJ, what type of person would benefit from this?
The person that would benefit from this is if you're struggling in sales.
Okay.
If you're sitting here like, man, I need to lock this down. I know I don't do a good job of communicating my value. I'm not getting them to call me back. I'm not understanding and missing a step from, when I present what I offer to they leave. Why'd they leave?
Right.
That'd be someone who, if you're having any of those things happen to you, Sales for Event Pros Workshop is for you. You can go to my website to get more information on that, mitchtaylor.net or tailoredsales.com.
Excellent. And again, we'll put all the links and such will be put down there in case we forget to mention one of them. Moving on, next we have Mark Ferrell, who does a couple of different workshops. He does his Love Story Workshop, and he has, I think, 3 levels of that.
Yes.
Bronze, silver, and gold. And then he has his MC Workshop with also 3 different levels.
And he has another workshop that he actually just introduced not that long ago.
I don't know. I guess I don't even know about this one.
Months ago. He announced his announcing workshop.
Oh.
And so that has also been released. I have not had the pleasure of taking the announcing workshop yet. I believe there's only been 2 of those workshops produced to date. But that being said, I have taken, I believe, 9 Marbecca Method workshops in my career. So I'm remedial like that.
Sure. They serve really good cookies. He just can't help himself.
Mark Ferrell has been a huge impact on my career and on many of the careers of DJs in the mobile DJ industry. Not only the workshops, but everything else he's brought to the table over the years. But in the workshops, I'll tell you what I told my staff that I sent through the workshops. And that is keep an open mind and be a sponge. And, that's the best, don't go into the workshop thinking this is how I do it.
Sure.
Sure, you may have an opportunity to showcase how you do it, but then be open-minded enough to let what Mark is teaching you soak in, during the workshop, and this is any workshop, frankly, during a workshop is not the time to close yourself off.
Yeah, for sure.
You only have a day, 2 days, whatever the time is in the workshop. You should keep an open mind and be a sponge. after the workshop is over, when you can't go back to it again and revisit it, that's your time to sit there and say, I don't agree with that. Or maybe that's not, how I want to do it. Don't question in the workshop. Be in the workshop.
Don't waste your time. So for the type of person who would benefit from Mark's workshop, Mark and Rebecca's workshops, how would we define that person?
Anyone who's looking to grow their skills as a master of ceremonies, or someone who wants to connect to their clients on a deeper level. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the only thing I could add to that is if you are a wedding entertainer, this is, I don't want to say mandatory, but it should be to a point. I think there's so many skills.
I would tend to agree with that.
That are that Mark teaches that do transfer to other areas also. Don't get me wrong, but as a wedding entertainer, the things that Mark and Rebecca teach and demonstrate, not only teach, but demonstrate in what they do, is gold for a wedding entertainer.
And to me, it transcends also to other areas of your life, which is a huge positive and unheard of benefit sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. So is it all at markferrell.com, I think?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, and again, we'll put the links down below so you guys can go check on that. So that's the Rebecca workshops. Bill Hermann has the entertainment experience that he does in November in Minneapolis, and then he'll do another somewhere around the world. Literally, it's like a Where's Waldo thing going on with Bill Hermann with his show. He's been to the UK. He's been in Australia with it, and up in Canada with it, I believe. So you've taken the entertainment experience?
Yes, I have.
For someone who wondering about what it is, give us an overview of what your experience was.
Oh, gosh. The entertainment experience, it's hard to describe in some ways.
Yep.
It definitely will open your mind as to how you perform and present and are a part of the events that you serve and how you serve your clients. Bill gets to the heart of why.
Yep.
Which is really important to understand. And if you don't understand your why as a performer or as a business person, then it's almost like you're just out there doing what you're doing with no real motivation and or path sometimes. Mm-hmm. So Bill really gets to the heart of that. Some of the workshop exercises were exceptional in regards to helping me uncover client needs and being able to serve my clients in a more meaningful way.
Sure. The type of DJ that would benefit from the entertainment experience.
If you're wondering what you're doing, if you're wondering your own why of, what's next, what's that next level, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
If you're wondering, should I get out of this business? Or do I need to keep pressing and keep moving? It's probably a good one to take because it's going to help recharge you and rechange your focus of why you do what you do.
Yeah, it would definitely a refocus on that motivation behind it. Wedding people. Bill Hermann is a wedding DJ, and
yes.
Much of the different things we did were wedding specific. So if you're someone in the wedding world that is looking for that, this is a great experience. And again, he does that up in Minneapolis in November. Continuing on, we got a couple more here. Mike Walter and Joe Bunn do the PHDJ Workshop, which they generally piggyback that off some of the conventions and such that go on. They'll be doing one around Mobile Beat. I personally haven't gotten a chance to take this one. Have you?
Yes, I've taken every single one on this list except for my own. No. Take that back. I've taken every single one on this list except for one.
Yep.
PHDJ, the pleasure of taking last year. And PHDJ is more, and I guess I will say this, and I said this, I can say this because I wrote it in an article for Disc Jockey News, actually, at the end of Mobile Beat last year. in reviewing PHDJ, and the only critique that I had of PHDJ, and I said this to a friend of mine before I actually took the course, as he described it to me, is that it is not so much a workshop as a 201, 301 level seminar series delivered by Mike and Joe to move your business to the next levels, if you will.
Okay.
They definitely, there's one workshop component, workshop in regards to instruction of how you should do something better and make that, that sales process better, or make that introduction better, which we'll talk about, I believe, in Peter Mary or Mark Ferrell's workshops or whatever the case may be, right? There's only one little part of that for Mike and Joe, but the rest of it is more higher educational level content, and specifically more about operations, hiring, firing, sales, marketing, that side of your business, if you will. There's a little performance too. Mike does a little bit of performance too in his workshop, but it was a great workshop. I've got, I bet I still have things I have to work on from that workshop.
Sure.
I go back through my notes. I've had a few curveballs thrown at me this past year in juggling things personally, but I know that I got a lot out of it. The content that they share, if you're looking for that next level for operations and hiring and firing and training your next great DJ, if you will, was one of Mike's courses, of course. And they're both just next level gentlemen and business owners in this industry that you need to be following, and get your butt in their workshop if you can.
And the type of both Mike and Joe are multi-system operators, and
Yes.
the PHDJ Workshop is kind of designed for the multi-system. Some people have taken it who are wondering, should I get into the multi-system? So they've taken that to get an idea. Some who have been in there can learn new tricks, what have you, to either grow or to run their business more effectively. So great workshop with two very good trainers when it comes to that. Let's see, we're moving on to Ron Ruth. The Ron Ruth Audio Amazing Love Story. He's on here twice. He's going to be talking, there's two different versions. He's doing one that is a live one that he does around the country occasionally. And then, of course, he does some online training. Ron Ruth's Audio Amazing Love Story, basically what he's doing is he's taking you through the process of creating the story of your bride and groom, but he's doing it with using audio clips and voiceovers and different things, and he's using different components. That's part of it. Then he's getting behind the motivation of why and how he's getting this information and how you put it together and the different aspects of it. There's just so many parts to what he's doing with this workshop that it becomes a process to go through in that 6 to 8 hour time frame. So you can go through from beginning to end, know how to gather the information, how to use the information, how to put it together, and then how to put together the final product. So for those wedding entertainers out there who are looking to do something like that and to offer that service, and you're wondering how to put that together the first time, or you don't want to put it together and learn on the fly of what you're doing wrong, Ron's presentation, whether it's the workshop or the other, are definitely check out. And that's out at Ron Ruth. You can find out more information out at ronruth.com. Our final one in the workshops is Peter Mary. It's been years since I've taken Peter Mary, done some, and I know Peter and Liz have been doing some different presentations and workshops around the country. What have they been up to?
So I know they've kind of labeled themselves as the fun wedding experts. I personally have not taken one of their workshops in quite some time. I took the professional process before. I never took Make It Grand, but I've taken the professional process before, and it was a great experience. Now that I think about it, maybe I did take Make It Grand. It was a long time ago, John, yeah. So it's been a minute. But they're Make It Grand, I understand, is more focusing on your introductions for the events. And so if you're really looking to understand personalized introductions and how they're done, Peter is someone you can learn from. And then, of course, the professional process speaks to Peter's specific process for sales and marketing of his business and paperwork and those kind of details with your clients. And if you're a wedding entertainer, that is a workshop to take as well.
Yeah. And Peter has been probably one of the early trainers to a point in the mobile DJ industry when it came to the wedding side of it. Mark came out with these Getting What You're Worth, and Peter came behind with the tools for many people on how to get that. So it's very knowledgeable man. If the opportunity comes to check that out in your area, you definitely do that. I think Peter has his information on at petermary.com.
I believe so.
So we'll check on that and make sure the links.
Funweddingexperts.com, I do believe, is in his link.
Okay, so we'll put the right links in the description below. Sure. So that basically will wrap up our video number 2 in this 3-part series. We talked about conventions in the first one, workshops number 2. We're going to number 3 now. We're going to talk about online training here, some different opportunities, and that will be in the next one in this playlist. If you are just getting to and you want to see the links for the other 2, the link in the description below is the playlist that has all 3 videos. So just click that. Otherwise, if you're watching the playlist, we'll be back in a moment.